Hello, I'm Katie without an E, and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about my June TBR. So I'm going to talk about all the books that I'm planning on reading in the month of June. However, this is a very ambitious TBR, so chances are I'm not going to get to all these books because I am going to Disney World at the end of the month, and obviously that's more important than reading. Anyway, I'm also going to be participating in the Shelf Space Readathon, and I am on Team Apollo, so I'm going to hopefully read as much as I can, and hopefully we'll win. The first book that I'm going to be talking about is Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. This is a book that some of my friends and I are reading for our little book club that we have at the beginning of every month, and it's a lot of fun. We set a certain amount of pages that we're going to read each day, and then we talk about it, and I really like it. So this book is about a trans boy whose traditional Latinx family is having difficulty accepting his gender identity. So to prove that he is a real brujo, he sets to find the ghost of his murdered cousin, but it doesn't really go to plan, and he ends up summoning the ghost of a boy from his school. And I'm guessing a lot of chaos occurs after that. I've heard really good things about this book, and I'm very excited to read it. I know this is more of like a spooky read and should probably be read in the fall, but I'm excited, and we couldn't wait. The next book that I'm going to hopefully be reading is Raybearer, and I honestly don't know much about this book. I'm going into it blind because sometimes I like to do that with books just so I could be more surprised about what's going on. But I am literally obsessed with this cover. It's gorgeous, and that's just making me even more excited to read it, besides all the great things that I've heard about it. So this book is about a girl who was raised by this like kind of distant mother who's called, I think, the Lady, and she gets sent to the capital of where they live to be part of like a prince's council. But the mother says that she has to murder this prince. I think that the main character doesn't know why. So she's trying to figure out like if she should be murdering this guy and listening to her mother. So I think that's what that's about, and I'm so excited. I heard amazing things about this book, and I really hope I like it, which I'm sure I will. So for the next book that I'm going to talk about is a graphic novel, and it's called Fangs by Sarah Anderson. And I've also heard really good things about this book, and this book is also gorgeous. Like look at the pages. And like the cover is like a different material, which I think is so cool. And this is about a vampire and a werewolf. And I was 12 when Twilight came out, so like vampires were the thing. And I haven't quite gotten over that yet. So I'm really excited to read about vampires and werewolves. And I think it's really cool how it's in black and white. Like, it just seems so, like, it's going to be such a good story through pictures, and, yeah, like, look at this artwork. It's gorgeous. Look at that. I'm excited. I haven't read a graphic novel in so long. I've read a few comics, but never, like, an actual graphic novel. So, this is going to be great. I'm excited. I keep saying that. I know. Another book that I am hoping to read is The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. And I really honestly have no idea what this is about, but, and I feel like I keep saying that. It's about, I think 3 girls in the 1800s, and it's been a long time since actual witchcraft has been practiced, and they're trying to bring that back. And I think it also has to do with like suffrage and like the right to vote. So I feel like it's going to be a real cool mix of fantasy and kind of like realistic issues as well. So I think it's going to be really cool. And also I just think that the spine is really cool. I've heard really good things about this one too, even though it's a chunker, but I'm excited. Next book I'm going to talk about is Yoink by Mary H.K. Choi. This book is about two sisters named June and Jane, and they've kind of went their separate ways. They don't really talk anymore until they find out that June has cancer, and that kind of brings the two of them back together. So I think it will be really interesting to explore that kind of relationship and how the cancer diagnosis is going to bring them back together, which I'm interested in this one. I've heard good things about this author, and this book is also just like really gorgeous. Like, look at that. It's like they're holding hands, and then through the pages they're still holding hands, and I think that's so cool. So the next book that I'm going to be talking about is Lost in the Neverwoods by Adrian Thomas. I'm really excited for this book. I think it's a Peter Pan retelling. The characters are named Wendy and Peter, and that just automatically got me really excited for it because I'm such a big Disney fan, and I know this like isn't going to be like bringing in Disney elements or anything. Like, it's not like that, but just seeing like the characters named that just made me really happy. But this book is about Wendy and her brothers. They vanished into the woods near where they live, and Wendy came back and her brothers didn't. And then when more kids go missing, everyone keeps asking Wendy like about what happened to her, but she doesn't really remember. So I think she tries to find answers about what happened, and she meets Peter, and the rest of the story happens, and I'm really excited. I heard this book isn't as good as Cemetery Boys, but I'm excited. I think this is going to be really good. Another book that I'm going to be hopefully reading in the month of June is The Girl Who Drank the Moon. This is a middle grade book, but I'm still really excited. I just feel like the premise of the book is really interesting. This is about a witch that lives in the forest, which is near a town, and the town is afraid of this witch. So to prevent her from terrorizing the town, they leave a baby for her every year. And I think the witch really has no intention on terrorizing anything. I think the town is just afraid. And so when the witch receives the baby, she feeds them Starlight. But one time she makes a mistake and feeds one of the babies Moonlight, which that gives her magic. So this story is about this girl that when she turns 13, her magic emerges. And I think magic is so interesting. Like, any book that has magic in it, I'm gonna buy it, because there's so many different things that you could do with magic, and I feel like every author puts their own spin on it. So it's really interesting to see how each author interprets their own magic systems. And I'm hoping to read more books about magic in the future as well. So that's it for all the physical copies that I have. I'm also anticipating reading Jurassic Park for a buddy read that I'm doing in a Discord called the Wizarding Duo Discord. And I'm really excited about that. I honestly don't know anything about Jurassic Park. I've never seen the movie. I've never read the books. I just know there's dinosaurs, and I think they're on an island or something. And it's going to be cool. I like sci-fi. And even though the rest of the books I talked about aren't sci-fi, but that's one of my favorite genres, and I'm excited to read it, especially to talk about it with a group of people as well. I'm also going to try to listen to an audiobook next month. I'm pretty new to audiobooks. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to pay attention to it, but I'm hoping to read Daisy Jones and the Six, because I heard that's a really cool audiobook because the book is set up in an interview format. So I think that's something that would be more interesting to read through an audiobook than through a physical copy. But yeah, those are the books that I'm going to try to read in June, and let's hope I get to all of them. But knowing me, I'm probably going to be seeing some other books that I want, buy them, and read them instead of reading those. But I have a feeling that's pretty relatable, honestly. And yeah, thanks for stopping by, and make sure to subscribe if you want to see more of my rambling.